Good day, Melissa. How are you? Welcome to your Demonade reading, since now that is sort of what you have coined it. I made that post with it. I'm like, that makes sense. Then I just rock with that. So let me go ahead and turn this down. So before I even stepped into the booth with you here, I had to set the frequency, like the vibration for what this was going to be. And I'm going to show you what came through because that's going to be the base energy for us starting this, right? When I typed in, because you can still see my search at the top, frequency vibrations to see which one I was going to be led to as the conduit or the station I was logging into to do your session, immediately the higher vibration one came in, which is to raise your vibration, which lets me know that for some reason you have not been in the best of, I don't want to say moods, the best of spaces. And that one of the remedies for your daemon issue, your naming issue, we'll find out which one it is in a little bit, is your shadow. What's in your shadow, or the things in your life that could be holding you back from raising up energetically. So I'm going to start from my little homemade deck to see what the theme of this will be. Like, we got to give it a title. I didn't even get the shuffle all the way, and immediately I got the that's it feeling. So let me make this big again. It's so slow. So your theme, repression. What's on the back? Learn a new skill. You need an outlet for your shadow energy. So let's see what demon you have fed that is giving you issues today. That's literally what this is. When you wrote me, you were like, hey, I think I got an issue similar to what you did that Demonade video on, right? And then you showed me the card you pulled for it, which was mirror. So you're like, maybe it's self. And I asked you, could you kick your own evil twin's ass? Because sometimes your shadow wants your body. Your shadow is looking at you like you ain't even living this life right. Move. And then you'll be in the back of your consciousness as your shadow lives out a life that could possibly be the one that you wanted the whole time because it was packed into the shadow. So I'm getting the message to explain. Your shadow is not just the bad parts of yourself. Your shadow is comprised of all the parts of yourself that you pushed into the background in order to better adapt to the environment that you grew up in. This could be if you lived in a household with people who were very, what is it, right brain, where they were very like, you have to go to school, you have to do this, and A, B, C, and D in order to be successful. And you were the child that was like, hey, I want to be a ballerina when you grow up, right? And they were like, honey, that's cute, but you're not going to make any money as a ballerina. So you decided you weren't going to use dance as your way of living, and you ended up actually putting on the back burner. You put dance in your shadow. Now, what if you were meant to be like a world famous ballerina, right? Your whole path was thrown off because you put one of the essential parts of self in your shadow. So your shadow is comprised of not only the heaviness of self, but any part that you tucked away so that you wouldn't get attacked. So, what angel is the daemon that is plaguing? I want to call you Alexandria. It's Alexander as your last name. I'm like, hold on, I have to look at her name. That's actually hilarious. What angel binds the demon that is haunting Melissa? Okay. Ace of Cups. Because every entity has a tarot card that goes along with it. Now I am going to my book. Let me show you so it doesn't look like I'm just staring at the screen and you're like, what am I looking at? So you're getting the behind the scenes peek and where my book stuff is. I used to have like multiple versions of it. Oh no, this is actually the activation. Hold on, let me back out. So the book is the activation without the activation. It's just the information on your own. But the activation itself tells you the angels and demons that are attached to you, that you're fighting for your whole like existence. Like the top 19 placements in your chart and the demon that gives you an issue or is a challenging one in that. And I tell people about it, I try to all the time, but the activations don't sell like they should. Like if people knew that, hey, you upset your demons when you're trying to hear, here's a book or a thing that literally tells you which demons are attacking you on this way so you know how to defeat them. So maybe that's an attack that's happening on this end that people's demons are like, no, don't get that. So in your case, this is angel number 54. And we're going to find out the name. And then I have to pull up your chart so we can see exactly where this is playing out in your chart or if it's coming for your hubby chart. Since I just recently learned you can upset somebody else's demon and have that on your booty too. But based on what I'm seeing here and what you are pulling out energetically, is you. And I don't think it's a coincidence that I said in the beginning of this, maybe you had a talent that wasn't, and that was my example, but keep in mind, I'm being led, right? It says the angel part of this, the higher self, the one that if you raised your vibration into, you would embody these traits, are eternal youth, beauty, grace, refinement, synchronicity, stability, hospitality, warm welcome, artistic and aesthetic talents, celebrity, prestige, childlike candor, freshness, healing, legitimate succession and inheritance. That sounds sort of like I was saying about that gift that went into your shadow, right? The demon that is binding you or messing with you at this time is cameo. It causes distortions such as fear of growing old, seduction to achieve one's goal, need for luxury, focused on external beauty and appearances, feelings of inferiority and superiority, lust, ambition, blind admiration, idolatry, wants to please everyone, emotional dependency, prostitution. But this is like emotional prostitution. Like you sell out how you feel in order to get what you feel like you need back, right? Possessivity, illegitimacy, reversal, permanent conspiracy, attitude that does not correspond to one words, illness, accident, ruin, unstable condition, takes for granted, bulimia, anorexia. The themes of this will be beauty, celebrity, embellishment, aesthetics, femininity. Sound like I said M&Ms. Femininity, surgery, and youth. So I'm going to your chart now, and I hope I have you under your name. Let's see. Just gonna pick a random person's name so I can tap in. Well, let's get cracking to need to do a little more digging. Feels like I'm doing detective work. I love it. So we're looking for Sagittarius, the 25th to the 30th degree. That lands in your sixth house of daily living, coworkers, and like your routine. So you have to deal with this every day. But that would be conjuncture part of fortune. What am I not seeing here? So let me pull a card because I am getting that there is an asteroid or something that is right here that it is attached to that is distorting your part of fortune. Your part of fortune is your sprinkle of luck. With you having it at the 23rd degree, this is something that attracts other people to you. It's the thing that connects you to your hive, if you will. And you do have a hive because you have a contract in Aquarius. Aquarius is the collective. And the seventh house is the house of the public eye. Planets at the 28th degree are household name markers. You have a Leo stellium. The 17th degree is a fame degree. You are meant to have a family business or something that rolls over, even possibly working from home based upon your beauty. So there's absolutely a marker that is hidden in there that connects to all of this right up in here. And we're going to get you shifted into that energy, my love. So let's see. Hold on. Galactic Center. I didn't even pull the card and I'm starting to get a ping. Galactic Center. I didn't even know there was a such thing as the Christ coming. Let me throw that in there just to like, what? Would that be considered a fixed star? I don't think the galactic center is a fixed star, but I'm about to check here. Don't mind me as I talk to myself through your video because I'm like, I'll hear the answer in my head and I'll argue. It takes me so much longer, but isn't that what we all do? And there it is. Let me just shut up. There you go. The galactic center is a fixed star. So, and then where does the galactic center fall? In between the 25th and 30th degree of Sagittarius. Your sprinkle of luck was your intuition that was coming from outside of yourself, your gift of prophecy. Uh, and oh, that just put me in my feelings. It's like I don't know if your folks were religious or they just did not believe in your gifts, but it's like you were predicting stuff at a young age and it made them uncomfortable, so they kind of shut you up. Your family's karmic, or the one you came from was karmic. So your inner child was sort of stunted and shut down and bound. The angel, the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Cups is new fulfillment, the beginning of something new that you are passionate about, right? Rejuvenation is the meaning for this angel. The issue that was binding you was repression, and you needed to learn a new skill. The new skill you need to learn is to embrace your gifts. Doesn't that sound so easy? The demon will go away when you raise your vibration because it's attached to your shadow. Your sprinkle of luck is the prophecy that you're able to give out. So you see this 11th degree, that's an Aquarius degree. That connects to that tribe I was talking about. But for you, it's connected to your Mercury. You're getting ideas and stuff from your ancestors outside of you. I wouldn't be surprised if you had the gift of mediumship also, right? But the important thing here is every degree feeds into the same channel. Like if it's the 11th degree and you have other planets at the 11th degree, it feeds into that. Your 11th degree feeds into the Christ energy. So when people hear you speak or talk or maybe even make things with your hands with this, and I say that also because you have Reiki on your ascendant, like you're a healer rising. When people come into contact with your energy, they start healing. So everything that you have been doing before now wasn't even necessarily connected to your mission. It was connected to the karma that you had to balance out. And in this case, karma for you was the things that you regretted from past lives. Not so much that you did something bad and you had to pay something back, but your family controlled you so many times in other lives with their belief systems that you weren't able to ever go out on your own. So this shadow has hands, it has claws. It's been in the gym working out for a really long time because for lifetime after lifetime, this 12th house is a representation of everything you've repressed because of your family in the other lives. And in this life, you are supposed to be getting your karmic comeuppance. That is why you're moving away from the sign of Cancer and what your family wanted for you, and being heavily in your feminine energy to the 18th degree in Capricorn. You are stepping into your entrepreneur energy. It looks like you'll be fortunate enough to do it right at home, but stepping into your power, and you'll be guided along the way by the galactic center, which is, I didn't even get to explain that. The galactic center is like the universal router where the internet for the whole universe is coming through. So somebody can have a question for you. And technically what I'm doing right now is sort of what you'll be able to do. My Neptune is next to the galactic center. So when I'm getting the channel, it's coming from there, especially if I'm asking something big. That's going to be the same thing that sort of happens for you. And sometimes people are going to be mad at you because of what you say, because they don't have access to that information. But just know that you're pulling for something greater than you. Sometimes you don't even know how you know the answer, but when you go to look it up and verify it, it's right. So I'm getting that I need to pull up your abundance. This isn't like you have the demon on you, but it's not the same as you being attacked by a demon. This is like, what is the best way for me to say this? I'm getting like the vision of an imaginary friend, somebody keeping you company while you're unhappy. Like this demon wasn't attacking you, it was actually giving you something else to do. Hold on. while you could not do the thing you came to do. You know how some people drink because they feel like they have more comfort when they're drunk? That's because their demons keeping them company. They're not actually alone. That's what this feels like. Like you were staying in the low vibration because your imaginary friend was there with you. Your 17th degree is also tapping into your Yeshua down here, your Christ spark. Now I'm like, what's up with her abundance? What does she need to know about that? In the sign of Aquarius, talking to people because it's in a Gemini degree and it's a final degree of Gemini. That's a test. Sharing your knowledge with other people is where your abundance lies. Sharing your unique genius about healing and the messages that come through you. So what does Melissa need to do in order to raise her vibration? This is not even a matter of you having to cast anything out. This is a matter of you stepping into yourself and being willing to, in some ways, this is probably going to make you emotional, let go of your demon's hand. This is like you didn't want to let it go as a piece of self. Write it out. That makes sense because your fourth house is in Libra. And your abundance is in the Gemini degree. Your unique genius and your wisdom that's connected to your Saturn, which is your contract that pulls everything together for you, since you are moving towards a Capricorn North Node, writing. You'll find out you have some skills that you didn't even know were there because you're not just pulling the information from yourself. You have a sneaky part of fortune. You are pulling ideas that need to be shared with everybody else from somewhere else. And through that, your abundance lies. Not only will you make it through that repression, but it's like there's a whole nother life waiting for you. You built a life based on what other people thought you wanted to be. This is what you're dealing with now. The life you have is not a reflection of the one that you would have had if you had followed those little instincts that had been in you. Did you have parents that weren't like fans of kids? Like any chance? I know that's shitty, but that does happen. It just feels like they couldn't understand the inner child or the imagination in you. And I don't want to say it got stomped out, but it was repressed enough for you to make friends with your demon. And for you to actually keep yourself purposefully in a lower vibration. I love this because it's like a different science project with every person. So, if I were you, not only would I think about taking some writing classes or just start writing to see what comes out, but I would work on the gift of channeling. But I would also, and you know what just popped up? Emotional dependency and wants to please everyone attached to this one. That definitely has to do with your parents and the energy that you were pushed into, right? I would sit down with Camilla. You're already very familiar with each other. Because I don't think many people realize like a demon is a distorted like human soul. Like that's the one you see in the movies where somebody's possessed and they're like back bending and throwing up everywhere. That's a human spirit that's got digressed and like worn down to this nasty thing, right? A demon is just an upside down angel, like an entrapped angel, one that is like bound here, but it still has the intelligence and all the gifts of an angel, right? Each demon only wants what their angel self wants. In this case, I would ask, like, hey, help me get out these repressed feelings that you've been holding for me. You became a vibrational match for this being because of your own sadness. Now you have the opportunity to pour that out and like talk to others about what you overcame, how you overcame it. Because they're not going to be able to tell from what they see on you physically. That's what's going to be the amazing part. Like, oh my gosh, I would have never been able to tell because you're so childlike and airy and fun, which is the top part of that energy for yourself. That joy that you have. We just need to pull the rest of you, that shadow, out of the dark. And in this case, you don't even have to worry about irritating your demon. You're actually liberating your demon. Because remember, it's only a part of, what's the name of the big one? It's only a part of Nathea. I'm not saying that right. Nithael. I mess up these angel names every time. So the demon doesn't want to be in the shadow either. That's why what y'all have in common. It would like to be a part of the angel again, but in order to do that, it has to ascend. And how does something ascend? By telling its truth, by freeing itself. There's this thing like tell the truth and shame the devil, but that's not how it's supposed to go. It's tell the truth and empathize, recognize the pain in everything. So by recognizing your own pain, it's like you'll set it free. You'll set yourself free. This wasn't a purposeful attack. This is something that has been with you since childhood. And it's time for you to break through. So this is about your mission. This was on the end. It's the Four of Swords, the God of the Trinity. And this protects also against slander of people who won't like what you say when you start speaking your truth. But don't worry about them. What you're doing is much bigger. Like if they couldn't understand you before, they're especially not going to understand you now, that you are going to be channeling directly from the galactic center because you're no longer going to be repressed or afraid of your gifts. I don't know what word I would say for this. If this is my metaphysician session video that I'm giving you, and like as a doctor, a spirit doctor, I'm ending this with like a prescription. Keep in mind, I'm being led. That's why I'm like, okay, all right. Do what I'm doing on this video one good time. Allow yourself to start talking about your childhood. Ooh, yes, it's going to sting, baby. Start talking about your childhood. Talk about you, what you remember about you as a child, and just let yourself talk. And as you keep going, you are going to unplug. How many years is this? Let me look at your age. Oh, 30 something years of backed up stuff. And then once you open that funnel, it's going to stay open. When you get a thought about something that's a revelation to you, write it down. You're going to need to write all the time now because you got to get those feelings out. You have to dig through the layers of the mask that have been covering your inner child, because your inner child is the link to this whole chart. That's what your second house is. All your money, your love life, your happiness is in your second house and in your inner child that got shut down entirely too early. So I can't wait for you to see this, and I can't wait for your I said flashback, but feedback. Have a good day.